Hello. Welcome to my first ever vlog. Today is Wednesday, June 3rd, 2:33 in the afternoon. So those clips were all from Monday and yesterday. I just got off a call with one of the authors that is in the revision roadmap program, and she's also one of my authors. I edit her books, and I'm on her third book now. And we were talking about the program, how she's going to use everything within it to move forward with her revisions. But also, we're just such kindred spirits. You know, sometimes I sit here and I think as I'm working on projects or just watching TV or whatever, that it is so crazy to me that the authors found me when they found me and I get to work with them now. It's wild. I'm so grateful. It is so much fun. I love them all to pieces. And yeah, it blows my mind that this is my life and I get to talk to people about books all the time. Speaking of books, I'm so tired today. I maybe got like 5 hours of sleep. There's a good reason for it, but I'm sleepy. And we will get into that later. It is one of the things that I do want to talk about because it's very exciting. First of all, I planned to introduce you to all of my animals. So I have 5 children, this being the most needy right here. This is Manhattan. Saying hi. And are you gonna be crazy? You can say hello. You can say hello. Oh, okay. Yep. There. Yep. So this is Manhattan. She's an Australian Shepherd Blue Heeler, and her name is Manhattan because I love Manhattan, the city. This is Harbor, and her name is Harbor because my mom and I were watching Dexter and the Bay Harbor Butcher, so she is named Harbor. And you would have already met the baby. If you follow me on TikTok, you've already seen Ridley. She is the kitten that I rescued last May. So we've had her about, oh my God, dude, right here. Oh my gosh. So we've had the baby for a little over a year now. And then Booboo was my cat that I've had since the summer of my senior year of high school. And we actually took her to the vet on Monday and got some not great news. So maybe I'll share that in an upcoming vlog. I'm not really sure when I will talk about that, but yeah, she's the oldest. Another thing that I have been waiting to do because I knew I wanted to vlog this week was open book mail. So I think it was last week. I sent my husband, I asked if he could check the mail on his way home from work because I knew that I got a package delivered. Thought it was this book, and it was, obviously, because I have it. So the Age of Fable, this is in the Starless Sea, and I have a problem, and I'm reading all of the books that are mentioned within the Starless Sea. So I sent him for this one, but when I woke up in the morning and saw the mail on the counter, I actually found that one and this one, and this is from one of my authors. You know, remember? Speaking of all of the amazing authors that I get to work with, I saw this and screamed silently because it was early in the morning and my husband was asleep. But see, I knew it was the book, but also I knew there was something extra. Oh, how cool. It's a little dish. It's got like gold. That is so cool. Okay, I knew it. I like held the bag and I was like, there's something else in here. Oh my gosh. It is one of the hardcovers without having the dust jacket. So this is the actual cover of the book. And I love it so much. She signed it for me. This is now one of my most prized possessions. If you have not read Grove of Trees yet, I highly recommend. It's amazing. I get the second book in the series in September, and I'm so excited. So there is book mail. I got 2 books. One was a surprise. One I actually ordered from Amazon. Okay, now that the book mail is out of the way, I have some emails to answer. And what else do I have to do? Today's Wednesday. I have a developmental edit due on Friday. So I might take y'all through my process for that and how that kind of looks behind the scenes. Could be fun. And then we have to talk about the biggest piece of news that I have. but I'm not 100% ready to talk about that just yet because I really do need to answer these emails. One of the emails pertains to this news. So, yep, I'm going to work on emails and we'll see what else I get up to. Okay, I just did a few emails and I have been still, so the dogs are now kind of chilling, which is always nice because they make so much noise on this hardwood floor. I responded to one of my authors. So I do contract editing for another book editor's business, and she put together an AI use policy, which is really nice. So she sent that out to all of us who are contractors, and I just signed that and turned that in, and we are looking at rescheduling maybe our meeting for next week. So I'm waiting to see if that is going to happen because we have a meeting on the second Thursday of every month. Super fun. One of the highlights of my month. It's just always exciting to just chat with them, hear about what's going on with the business and how we're all doing, and ask any questions, because the thing with editing and books is that there's always stuff changing. There's always something new to learn. The Chicago Manual of Style updates. So it is so fun to have other people doing the same thing that you're trying to do. Edit books, grow your business, all of the stuff. Give your clients the best experience possible. So yeah, that call will be happening next week. I'm not really sure what else I'm going to do. Actually, yes, I do. What I'm going to do is update our style guide for this other editor's business. I say ours because I feel like I'm not in her business at all. I'm just a contract editor, but I love her so much that we were going over a proofread and I told her that I would update our style guide with some of the new stuff that we've been doing. And then I have a dialogue cheat sheet that I use regularly, and it is dialogue tags and action beats, just a quick reference. So she told me to add that, and then we'll go over it and kind of see like where we agree, where we differ, all of that good stuff, and yeah, go from there. So I'm actually going to update that because I want to get that done before our meeting next week. And that's a good little, it is 3:22. So I don't want to start anything too crazy. So I think that's what I'm going to work on now. In the office, I needed to consult my handy dandy copy editing fiction book. This is probably my most used editing book thus far. It's just so good, has everything in there. It's magical. I needed to double check something. I knew it was in this book because I didn't make it up, but I wanted to quote it to send to the other editor just so she could decide whether to leave it in there if she agrees, or if she wants to remove it, considering this is her business's style sheet. So I added what little bits I had, just mainly examples, because within every book, every author has a certain preference, of course, but there are some hard and fast ways of doing things, right and wrong. And I find myself asking questions, and we have a group chat where how would you handle this? How would you handle this? And so I was just thinking we already have a style guide that we can reference, but I was thinking having specific examples would be really helpful. Because once you see it, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Duh. Like, why didn't I think of that? But like, you can't, I don't know, you like can't see it until, you see it. So that was the whole point. Back in the office, I'm going to send this off, and then it is 4:22. So I'm pretty sure that means it's time for me to make dinner. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I don't know what I'll do for the rest of the night. I had an idea as I was moving from the couch, but it left my brain. What was I thinking? Oh, that's what I was going to do. I need to upload this footage onto my computer because it takes forever. The way I wasn't prepared for how long footage takes to do the footage things. Oh my gosh. So I think I'm going to do that tonight, get it on my computer, get it in my editing software, and then I guess we will talk about the really exciting news tomorrow. And I will take you through finalizing a developmental edit. So stay tuned for that. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while now. I have been sitting here waiting for all of the footage to upload. I have to keep my screen on. So I decided to mess around with my website because I used to have merch when, like last year before, I don't know. I used to have merch a while back. It had to have been about a year ago when I switched my website provider, and I just have not hooked my stuff back up yet. And I was like, let me just play around with it. Let me see. So I went through and they're connected. I just have to go back through and add them to the website. I am so excited. I designed the merch, so I love it. Clearly, it has my logos on it. The sweatshirts are the softest sweatshirts. I honestly paid more for some embroidered sweatshirts from a small shop on Instagram, and I love it. Don't get me wrong. Mine are more comfortable though. Like, I wear mine so much more often because they are so soft. So let's take a peek because I'm so excited that these are going to be back. ACOTAR comes out in October. So I have some ACOTAR, I have some Starless Sea, I have some just regular chats and chapters. Most of them are ACOTAR, and then I have a homesick line, and I love the homesick ones. Like, I love that for myself, that idea popped in my head. So let's take a peek. We've got a baby over here. Okay, so we've got the sweatshirts, there's hats. I added a tote bag and a beanie, and then there's t-shirts. These are part of the homesick line. So it says homesick for a place I've never been, and this is like Hogwarts. That is the ACOTAR mountains and stars, and there's multiple of them. This is the rest of them. So this is a Terracin one. We've got just an open book, a like dragon's eyes, kind of what I was thinking, and then a wyvern, however you want to say it, and then a honeybee, and that's mainly for the Starless Sea, and then like a little cute skeleton. There's always sight going on in the background. Those are the designs that I have. I really just made the mugs and stuff for me. We have like High Lord Purple. It is Did You Enjoy the Sight of Me Kneeling Before You from ACOTAR. And then this one just says Feyre Darling on it, and it's embroidered, and they just make me really happy. They just make me super duper happy. I cannot wait for these to be back up. I really want to design more, like I said. I don't know. I would love to partner with some of my authors and do a few designs, just if anything, so that they could place an order and have some kind of something for their story, and then obviously it could be available for other people, but I just think it would be really fun. I have so much fun designing clothes. I don't know. I don't actually design the clothes. I just came up with the designs, and I think I still have the note on my phone with like a million designs, because when Erica and I were doing the reread of ACOTAR and doing the podcast episodes, I had so many ideas that I wanted to do, and I would love to bring some more back with the upcoming release of ACOTAR in October, and then again in January. So I'm so excited. And it was so much easier than I thought. I've literally put it off because I couldn't figure it out in the beginning, and I just had to Google. So, you live and you learn. Good morning, or afternoon, evening, nighttime, whenever you are watching this. We are back in the office. It is the next morning, so it is Thursday, June 4th at about 10:57 a.m. A way later start time than I usually get into the office. Typically, I'm in the office at 7:30-ish, 7:20 to start on whatever project I have for that day. I really like knocking out like an hour and a half to 2 hours of work and then going to the gym, and then I'll work in the afternoon. So yeah, it's a little late, but my husband had to go to work for something this morning, which he usually doesn't. He works nights or evenings, depending. His schedule has been so messed up lately. So he actually had to be somewhere, I think this morning at like 9 or 9:30. So I knew he was going to wake up around the time that I usually come in here to work. There's no point in trying to concentrate and get started on something. So I finished my cat puzzle, and I finished painting one of the spreads in my sketchbook. So I did artsy fartsy things this morning to pass the time because I knew I wouldn't be able to get into wrapping up this developmental edit. I'm not as well rested as I was hoping because I slept really bad the night before last, which we will get into why. But I went to bed early last night and I actually turned my alarm off for this morning because I wanted to sleep in, and the baby was making noise in the bathroom, which is on the other side of my bedroom wall. So she woke me up, and then Booboo was making noise, and I looked at my phone right as it changed from 5:59 to 6 a.m. and I was like, okay. I mean, I guess technically that is sleeping in for me a little bit, but not quite what I was planning. So that's fine. It's my fault, really. All of the children are on my schedule because my schedule is mostly consistent, whereas my husband's is not. So he used to feed his dog just like whenever he could throughout the day. And then my zoo moved in and we got Harbor when my mom passed away. So, and then obviously we rescued the baby when I found her in a bush last summer. So they are definitely used to my schedule. Boo wants to eat around 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Ridley's on the same schedule now. The dogs eat whenever Brad wakes up. They used to just get fed once a day, but now they need it twice a day, 2 or 3 times, because my dog's tum-tum can't handle not having food in it. And I don't fault her really. She'll just throw up, which is annoying, but I get it because I have to eat every 3 or 4 hours or I get cranky. So anyways, I am in the office. I'm going to start wrapping up this developmental edit that's due tomorrow. So I finish most of my projects at least 3 days before they're due. And that is because, especially for developmental edits, most of the work happens as you're reading because that's going to take the most time. But the actual like thoughts and piecing things together and questions and really giving the author feedback, for me at least, happens once I know the full story. Like I have questions as I'm going through, of course, and I leave those in the document that I'm going to walk y'all through. But I don't really have suggestions for the questions that I have or anything like that because I don't know the end of the story. I don't know how it's wrapped up. So I always finish 3, 4, 5 days before it's actually due, because what I'll do is I'll read a little bit every day, of course, go through the chapters. I have chapter summaries, questions, notes, ideas, everything like that. And like I said, I usually get into the office at 7:30. So I will do my however many pages I need to do for that day around 7:30 until 9:30, and then I go to the gym. And even at the gym, I will be like, actually, why did that happen? Do we learn more about that? What's going on? Could she have said that better? I feel like we needed more there. I'm still confused on why that character reacted that way. I still will have so many questions because that's my brain needs a little time to ponder and think about things. So I finished a little bit early and then finalize everything. So I will complete the memo today, and then I will review everything tomorrow morning before I send my author the video going over the high level things and then send it off. So what I wanted to do was walk you through kind of the behind the scenes of the memo and how it's broken down and how I use it. I won't actually use the one for the developmental edit that I'm working on now because obviously, but I will take you through, I have a template that I use. I will take you through the template. So it is pretty self-explanatory, I think. I don't know. I'm not sure what other memos look like, obviously, but this is mine. So we have my business, chats and chapters, developmental memo. I put the month and the year that I'm getting it back to them, and then the author and the title. And then I just put this here just in case, they forget about me. They want to talk to me again. They can remember who they worked with. And I do watermark my pages, 1, because I really like my logos, and 2, just in case. Okay, just in case. I don't know. I feel better doing it. We have the summary, which is a summary of my thoughts, not the summary of the story. We have any big picture ideas, because I will have ideas below in the chapter by chapter breakdown, but like anything that impacts the entire story as a whole. Big ideas go here. And then general thoughts. Sometimes I delete one of these and just keep one of them. If I have any general thoughts of stuff that I really like, stuff we need to keep, anything like that, I'll add that there. So this page usually is about a page. I usually fill it up. Like obviously it only starts off as 3 pages, but this gets a little chunky. So I have next the story structure. This is just the basic story structure: exposition, inciting incident, rising action, climax, falling action, resolution. I do not include this section in every developmental edit that I do. It really depends on the author and if I think it will be helpful, or if I think it will complicate things more for them. Because yes, every story on a grand scale pretty much follows this, but if they do something a little bit out of the ordinary or it's fine on its own, I don't include this. Now, if there is work that needs to be done and the rising action just does not continually have tension, we're not really like raising the stakes in any way, then I will point out the chapters where this should be continually raising the stakes, the tension, the mystery, whatever is going on within the story before we get to the climax. So I don't include this every single time, but I keep it in my template just so that I don't have to bother making another one every single developmental memo that I do. Then we have character development. I don't do this for every single character, but this is for all of the characters that have a huge impact on the story. And this is such a fun part, in my opinion, because if you've followed for a bit, I love the characters and they are obviously the point of the story. And so going into this, having the main characters listed as they come up, I will ask questions as I go through. This is another place that I ask a lot of questions. And then I will finalize this in bullet points once I'm done to send to them. So while yes, everything is broken down within the chapter summaries below, this really helps pinpoint exactly how to build out their characters, what could be added, make them more emotional, improve their growth, all of that good stuff. So that's the next section. And then, like I was saying, we get into the feedback by chapter. So this is where I have the summaries. And then here is any questions that ideas I will ask. Some of these I leave for myself, to be honest, like, does such and such come back and get answered later on? Anything I'm like, I loved this. Any of my thoughts, ideas about that specific chapter goes within this section, obviously, because it's the feedback by chapter. So that is my developmental editing memo that I send to my clients, and the breakdown of how that looks, what you get, plus the video. So this is what I pull up when I send the videos to my author. So I'll pull up this and then the actual manuscript, which I also leave comments on the manuscript just to really point out smaller things. So paragraph organization or specific thoughts of how could he see this if he was around the corner, and like smaller, really, really nitty gritty specific stuff like that within the developmental edit, I leave within the manuscript, and then bigger, more general questions, comments, concerns like that, I put in the memo. That's what that looks like. That is what I'm going to be working on today. And then once I get this knocked out, what the hecky darn are you doing, dude? Ridley. Once I get this knocked out, we will talk about my very, very exciting announcement. Checking in. So I've been working on this developmental edit for about an hour now. I just paused to feed the cats mostly, but I also threw the dogs some food just so, you know, we don't have any tum-tum problems, anything like that. I was thinking that it would be about 3 hours to wrap this up, and I'm pretty sure I'm right because it's been about an hour and I've made good progress, but I still have a ways to go. Just like I said, piecing things together, connecting the dots, asking better, more specific questions now that I know the end of the story, and also offering some other options and suggestions and moving pieces, because I do think within this one, there are some really exciting things that could be moved moved and then also added just to give the full emotion impact of the story an oomph. Like, I really think if we just tweak some things, that it'll be so much more impactful. So that is what I'm going for. That is what I am reviewing and adding notes and questions and comments about, is just really up-leveling the oomph. Hello again. Let's wrap up this first vlog ever with the news that I have been telling you I was going to tell you this entire time. And the news is I am writing a book. This is my third book idea, and it just feels like the one that I should write first. Okay, the second I start recording, the cat decides she needs to mess with everything in my office. Anyways, this is the third story idea I've had in the last couple of years, but this one feels like the one that I should start with. I had the idea on the 20th. And I emailed one of my authors on the 21st, the morning after I had the idea. And so I've been brainstorming. It's evolved. It's already evolved so much. I thought I was going to go, the main premise is the same. The main thing is the same. But how all of it's going to evolve has evolved. I was telling her about just bits and pieces, things that I was thinking, and she was asking me questions about how that would all work, this, that, and the other. And so that was really helpful. I feel like she's learned from getting my editing feedback back, is just ask a lot of questions, and it really helps bring out ideas and direction and all sorts of things. So that was really good to just hear her questions and her excitement about it. So yeah, I had the idea May 20th. It is now June 4th still. And I think I have a fully planned story. Obviously, I don't have all the details, but I have enough at this point. I have a pretty solid idea. I know the ending. I know where we start. I know multiple scenes that are happening. There's going to be a Halloween party, all sorts of stuff. Because when I first emailed her, we were talking last week, and I was like, oh, I could go this way. Like, there's so many directions that I could take this idea. There's so many directions. And I think that's within every story. I'm not saying I'm a genius, but there's so many directions that you can go. And it's just deciding on where you want to take this story. So the initial idea that I had for it, I'm actually going to save that idea and I'm going to put it in my back pocket for a possible different story. And I've pivoted. But she was telling me last week that maybe I should just start jumping in there and writing, and then I'll figure it out. And I was like, yeah, but I need like the main points. I need enough information to start writing and have like a direction. Like I know I can turn off the main road and go somewhere else. Like, that's not what I'm saying, but I need to know the majority of what is going on. So this is why I slept really bad Tuesday night. So yesterday, remember I said I was really tired on Wednesday. This is because I had an epiphany. I had a breakthrough Tuesday, and I was like, oh my gosh, no, that would actually work. That would be perfect. This, that, and the other. This is how this could play in, blah, 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 like all the things. And so then I laid in bed Tuesday night. Silly goose ideas. I laid in bed, took out my handy dandy notebook, which I started the day that I thought of this story. And I made character sheets, ideas, how the plot would go, the different books within the book, because if you know me, I love books within books, books about books, all of that. So there will be books within this book, and it'll be so fun. So I'm basically writing 4 stories, the 3 books that are within it, and then the 4th is the main one where we live through the other 3. So yeah, I emailed her Wednesday morning and I was like, okay, I'm pivoting and this is what I have. This is what I think. And I like set it out in bullet points. And I was like, I have enough now. I haven't, like, this is beginning to end. It's not fully completed. I still have questions. I still have to figure stuff out, but I have enough now where I think I'm going to start a 0 draft and see where it goes. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. That is my news. Let me know if you have any questions about the writing, the brainstorming, what I'm going to be doing, any of that. I'm probably going to include it in vlogs, of course, but let me know if you have any specific questions. If you are a writer, if you're an author and you need an editor, the link to work with me will be below in the description. And I would love to chat with you about all of your chapters. And yeah, we are wrapping up vlog number 1. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, hang out, more to come. I have thoroughly enjoyed chatting with you, and I am so excited to take you along on this writing journey of mine. So see you in the next one.